Okay, so I have a cross-section design file open, and you can see I have two views open. On the left, I've got my cross-sections, and the right, I've referenced in my plan view, and I'm showing my plan view information here. So let's go ahead and open the cross-section application. So from ODOT Drainage Apps Proposed, I'll pick Storm Sewer Cross-Sections. And over here on view 1, it should have windowed in on the first section. So it's found the sections that are in the file, it's automatically gone to the chain that was used to create those, and I'm on my first section. And I've got the standard first and last and next and previous and then reset buttons for the cross-section navigation that you're used to seeing in GeoPack. Now these are a Visual Basic version of those, so the buttons are a little sluggish in Visual Basic, so you can't quite click them as fast as the GeoPack navigator, but the function's the same. So there are two modes here for draw. There's drawing the structures and drawing the pipes. And let me explain the way those work. Both modes use a selection set. So that's why I have my plan view information referenced, and then I'll select the information that I want to place on my cross sections. The structures mode is going to pick up the catch basins, manholes, and inlets, and the connecting pipes. For example, here at 97, this pipe going perpendicular to my center line, it's going to pick that up and draw it on the cross section there. So structures mode will draw some pipes, but it won't draw all pipes. For example, here at station 98 on the right side, I would normally want to show that intersection with that pipe and show it at its proper elevation. That's not going to be picked up in structures mode. And I'd have to go to pipes mode to go through and then put in any intersections with a pattern line and a pipe at a cross section. So I'll just demonstrate both of those modes, starting with structures mode. And I'm going to use this same run I was using in profiles. I'm just going to select all this stuff and go ahead and click the structures button. And it's going through and reading all the ad hoc attribute information for those and then applying those on the cross sections. So starting here at my first section at 96 plus 75, you can see there's a catch basin here, and then a pipe comes across to another basin at 97. And it's picked up the first cross section catch basin there and labeled it, and it's showing that pipe coming here. And now it's not showing that structure. That structure will be shown on the section for station 97. So let's move forward to 97 and see what we've got there. And on this one, you can see I've got those other two structures that were station 97, and then that same pipe showing coming back across that connects up to station 96.75 or plus 75. Now there's always going to be some cleanup information. You can see some overdrafting here, and that's why we have the annotation modification, and that works the same as profile mode with the hold horizontal position and the move button. So I can move these where I want them. This cross-section cell will not be shown on my cross-section, so I'm not worried about that overlapping there. Then I've got some text down here. I'll have to manually move around where I want it. Now there's a few other things to look out for. Coming back to my plan view over here, let's move up to station 98 plus 50 and look at that structure. Okay. 98 plus 50, there's my catch basin there, and you can see there's a pipe coming out going to the right and one to the left. And what's going on here is it's showing those two pipes as a linear and not just as a circle in the catch basin. And the program is written to look at the offsets from the center line at each end of that pipe. And if those offsets are the same or nearly the same, I can't remember the exact tolerance number, it's probably in the PDF documentation, it'll show it just as a circle. But the offsets are far enough apart that it's showing it as line elements. So you may elect to clean that up. I probably would and just show it as a circle in here. So what I'm going to do is delete this information, and then I could manually draw a circle in there for that. So that's just another thing to watch out for with the annotation of the pipes and their offsets and how it draws them in, and you may have to clean up some of that information yourself. So that's an overview of the structures mode. Let's look at the pipes mode. And again, it works with a selection set. And what I'm going to do is just select all that information again and go ahead and run pipes mode. Now this runs a little different. I mentioned earlier what it's going to look for is at my cross-section location, does that intersect with a pipe, and then I need to draw an ellipse on my cross-section at that offset and then extract the elevation from the endpoints of the pipe. And those elevations are stored as ad hoc attributes on that pipe. So when I click on pipes mode, it's going to window in on the first one it finds an intersection, and it may be a little hard to see on my graphic here because of the highlight color, but it's highlighting that and it's asking you, do you want to draw that? And I'm going to say, let's cancel out of this. I'm going to change my highlight color so it's something a little easier to see. So under my workspace preferences, I'm going to turn on element highlight color, and I'm just going to leave it with that default purple color and say OK. And now let's go do pipes mode again. And now I can see that a little better. So there's a 12-inch type B it wants to draw in here. And at this particular station, I really don't need to draw that. So I'm going to say no. So it's just going and finding the next intersection with a pipe, and I don't need that one either. I've got the structure drawn, so I'm going to say no. Now here's one at station 97 plus 62. Roughly 28 feet to the right. Yes, I want to draw that one. So this is just a iterative process. They're just going to go through and tell it yes or no on each one. That one, I think I may go ahead and draw that in there. That's probably this one at 98 plus 50 where I deleted out those lines going to the left. I'm going to go ahead and draw that circle in there for the 15-inch. No, I don't need that one. So we'll just go through here and cycle through the rest of these. And that's all the stations. So if I go back to scroll through these, zoom in a little bit, of course it's going to reset every station. Just want to find, there's one. So that's what was drawn in there for my pipe intersection, just the 15-inch size and the type designation. Okay, the last thing I want to look at is this pipe over here that I put in a pipe bend in my plan view. I just want to show how that's going to be reflected in my cross section. So I'm just going to select that particular pipe and the two structures and tell it to go ahead and draw those structures. And it's done, and I'm up somewhere around station 105. And there it is. So you can see the two structures I selected are drawn, and then the pipe between them is drawn. And out here, that's the offset from the beginning to that first bend and the elevation there, and then the offset and elevation to the next bend, and then it connects up to the two elevations at each end. So there's an example of how that pipe bend information is read and used on the cross section. So I think that's it for the storm sewer cross-section application. So we'll go ahead and close that out, and next we'll look at the last one, the storm sewer 3D application.